Daniel 2:24 begins with Kol Kovel Dana, and that'll take us up to this Revia. Altogether, this expression means something like therefore. So we definitely have a transition from Daniel's prayer before. So something like therefore, and then Daniel, so Daniel, right? And then here we have an interesting al. We'll come back to that. We want to read up to the Zakef Katon. And here we have Aryok. And if you remember, Aryok was the official sent to kill the wise men of Babylon. So with al, what are we looking at? We have ayin lamed as a verbal root. And we might remember that when we have geminates, that's what we have when the second and third radicals are the same, that it's possible for the third radical to delete. And you can see more about this on page 117 of Biblical Aramaic for Biblical Interpreters. This word is very similar to the Biblical Hebrew root, beit, vav, aleph, that we're familiar with, come. Okay? So come will then often take a preposition after it to say come, to where, that sort of idea. But here's our preposition. This is an unusual preposition, though. It means something like upon, right? Which we remember from our study of prepositions so far, just as in Biblical Hebrew. Well, come upon, that expression is odd. In some cases, it seems to have a sexual context, even in Aramaic writings outside of the Bible. So there's a very interesting article by Rick Taylor, which discusses this al expression in light of Biblical Hebrew, in light of other Aramaic writings. And basically his suggestion, which we don't have textual evidence for, but is that this is a scribal ditography situation where the first ayin is actually a mistake that comes from seeing the al before, and it happens to create another word that is correct as far as its form goes, but grammatically speaking is odd. So from the beginning, we don't need to go with conjectural emendation. We can just say something like, therefore Daniel came upon or came to Aryok, and that gets us to the Zakef Katon.